Okay, you see, as I said, this is not to show the examiner how how good you are. Okay? This is the moment that we need to show to the examiner we know ADDIE well, we know the steps well, we know as a trainer what are the things that we should consider. The content there, it is not the most important things, but the steps to present, the step to carry out the training is the most important part. That's why I always tell my other trainees, okay, ini bukan satu, okay, which we call it a show to tell the examiner how great you are in your industry. You need to tell the examiner, you need to prove to the examiner how much you know about training, how much you know about ADDIE, how much you know about the government's requirement standard on presentations. Full stop. Okay? So I would say most of you all have already chose the topic. Okay? And Mr. Kuman and Mr. Gobind, I don't see any problem. That is your bread and butter, your rice and curry. So tutup 3 mata pun boleh settle punya. Okay? And I really want to see, okay, Mr. Neha punya CPA. My concern is the introductions work, whether it is too wide or not. Just now you did mention choking, so we shall discuss from there. Okay? Yesterday we touched on the first part, first day of the training, which is doing the analysis part. So we let the participants, we let the trainee understand who is JPK, what is JPK, what is the role and responsibility of a JPK punya trainer. We touch on the akta, remember? We touch on akta berapa for JPK punya akta? Yes, 652, very good. And also we touch on the types of TTT available in the market, remember? There is 3 types, that is JPK punya TTT, that is HRDC punya TTT, then there is DLL punya TTT. DLL YOLO kan? Dan lain-lain. Okay? Then we touch on adult learning. So for adult learning, what is the most important key sentence, keywords you must remember when we are... Sorry? Yes, what is it for me? Why should I come for the training? Why should I listen? Why should I participate? I come for this training, saya dapat apa? If I come here just for the lunch, then I don't need to get into the classroom. I will wait in the cafe. I come to the class, you must grab my attention, create interest, make me want to study. Encourage desire and action. Remember the AIDA model? Then we get into surface of ADDIE. What is ADDIE about? Remember, A stand for analysis. The first D stand for design. Development. Implementation. Evaluation. So that is the key thing of ADDIE. So by carrying out this ADDIE, you are able to develop a good ID process. ID stand for? Yes, instructional design. And also we touch on CBT. So what CBT stand for? The competency based training. You see, suddenly run to the fridge and take back the knowledge. So inside CBT, what are the 3 main factors? 3 main factors. Yes, SKA. What S stand for?
Skill. knowledge,
and
attitude.
yeah. So I do not want to get into the technical term yet. Okay, for example, okay, what is psychomotor? So when I get into this, I'll make you more confused. Okay? I let you know what are the key things there. So actually, you can use other words to substitute KSA. It sounds so psychologist. Before we get into using those changi word, understand the key concept first. Okay? Then we are also touching on what we call TNA. So the TNA part, we can actually break into three main steps. Number one, look out for the where we want to go. The second part, look for, and the difference would be the gap analysis. Once identified the gaps, then we have the basis to propose to the clients what is their needs. So can you see the flow? Can you see the link or not? Okay, so kita sudah buat TNA. Sekarang kita akan masuk hari yang kedua. Hari yang kedua iaitu how to prepare a training outline. Ini lagi kacang kepada Mr. Niha. I'm sure dalam komputer sana sudah ready. Banyak ada. So I want to ask you, when you have conducted a DNA, okay, so you want to send a proposal to your client, so you need to develop a program outline. What is the things that you should put in there? What are the things that you should consider? Anyone can share? Anyone can tell me?
The objective.
Their objective, very good. Some more?
Their current, what is their problem?
First the introduction. Then if there's any laws governing the training, the legislation, you can talk about the legislation first. Then you can go into the objective. What is the objective? What's the teaching methodology? Who's your target group? Time frame.
Yes.
And then eventually come down with the programming schedule on training. So
5W1H.
5W1H. What? 5 wife, 1 husband.
5 1
5 wife, 1 husband. That's how we remember.
Oh,
Wow.
you scares me.
No, so W11FM, right? What is it for me?
Sorry?
W11FM.
The
What
one?
it is for me.
Oh, okay.
W11.
Correct. Okay. So you see, that is certain things that we must include in the training outline. So since Mr. Niha, he has prepared before, so as I say, this is a certification program. I want to share, I want to groom Mr. Niha further, if I may, to share. Okay, so can you create another link to let Mr. Niha to submit a document? So it is a Word file or it is a Word file? So do you mind to share it?
Can.
Okay, so you create a link, put it here, then I will comment, then you will have a clearer pictures. So what are the things that you should look into? So if you don't feel comfortable, it is totally okay, you know.
No, we can. No worry.
Just second one, I have to send the link.
So we told
Okay, done.
Hold on.
It should be inside your Google Classroom.
The script.
Okay.
which one you can give and I want to learn.
You see, one of the reasons why I'm asking Mr. Niha to send send it over. From my understanding, 3 of you are going to form a company.
Yeah.
So I just tackle one case, then it will benefit everyone.
Yes.
So that's my strategy, my approach. Is it done? All right.
It's in the classroom. Documents for listening. Oh, that's the first one. This is already this is the old one, Sandy.
No worries.
Five pages loss. Yeah, works. Works. About 5 dimensions. You want to see what I've done before.
This one at least 30 years ago.
Huh?
About 30 years ago.
No lah.
2007.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a complete proposal inclusive of the program outline. So biasanya, this would be like a set, a complete set that you send over. So this is the title or the cover page. We'll say inside kat sini, aim. So normally if you do not want to put in the word aim, we can put in the program objectives. That means what are the key learning outcome for the program. So here is to train participants in response procedures should an emergency occur on site. Okay. So here I would suggest that you to use more specific words here instead of three. Before we get into that, let me comment the whole thing first. Then I will give you the solutions one by one. Okay, here the background of the case. So these are good things. Then come here. Syllabus. To design according to the requirement, training objective. Okay. This is what we want to see. Very clear, very good. For every training outline, we must have the training objective. Then followed by a clear learning outcome. The learning outcomes here, we would strongly suggest that you use this statement. At the end of the training, the participant will able to, it's very similar to this. I'm using the exact word required by them. So repeat, or you can write it down. At the end of the training, the participant will able to ...
End of the training.
At the end of the training,
Okay.
the participants will able to
Alright.
then ... followed by this.
Okay.
So it has to be start from verb. Okay. So after here, at the end of the training, at the end of the program, the participant will able to then followed by this 1, 2, 3. So there will be 3 learning outcome. Okay, learning outcome is the key thing for your physical performance, physical assessment or performance assessment. Remember, this statement must follow in words. At the end of the session, the participant will able to ... means ... But how many types, how many learning outcome? Then got to put down one by one. So how are we going to put it down? So we should always start from a word. Verb, VRB. Okay, and what are the verbs that we can use? Okay. Okay, this one can be used to be already done. Okay, I will start to list out the reading to your whiteboard from today onwards. Okay. these are the words that you can consider to put in there to use.
I got the words.
Sorry? You got the
Yeah, I got the words. Demonstrate, recognize, everything is there. Okay, that's good. Bloom's taxonomy.
Yes, taxonomy. So I'm going to share this out with you all. Okay, so it breaks into six stages. So setiap stages, every stage or every level, there will be certain words to be used. So the learning process, it goes stages by stages by stages, from the lower understanding to how to understand, how to use, how to apply, how to analyze, and so forth. So different okay, category, different levels, we use different terms to put it in. It depends on what are the things that you want to train. For example, Mr. Kuman, you want to describe the steps of hand over the policy documents to a client. So you can use the word describe here. Any other words that you can choose from here? You see, because yours is on to let people understand the know-how. Let's get into the what we call knowledge side. Or you want to make it more in depth, you can choose the apply side. Okay.
Demonstrate.
You can demonstrate the clear steps to demonstrate the process of handing over policy documents to the clients step by step, or to demonstrate the 5 steps process to hand over policy documents to the clients. So try to incorporate the SMART principle there. Remember the SMART principle? So what's the SMART principle? Specific,
Measurable.
Achievable.
SM, achievable. What's the M?
M is measurable.
SMAR.
R is realistic.
Realistic, or you can also consider to use the word relevant. Okay. Yeah. So to come up with the learning outcome is one of the core for the physical or performance assessment. So kalau you develop satu salah punya performance assessment learning outcome, the whole thing hancur. So you have to choose from here. So your 15 minutes punya performance assessment, so you can minimum choose one learning outcome, and I am suggesting maximum not more than 3 or 4. Maximum, don't challenge, go for 4.
So
Maximum.
you have to actually mention what's the learning outcome.
Of course, you not only mention, you have to state it down, write it down, and you've got to develop a session plan. So now we start with the program outline first. Then we get into the session plan. Okay, one training outline consists of multiple module. One module consists of multiple session. Every session they can come with multiple or at least one learning outcome. Understand? So that is the relationship. So choose from here. This is let us
every day. Well, critical thinking skills are vital to our students. But as educators that are bogged down doing all the other stuff we're required to do, how do we have time to integrate critical thinking skills into what we do every day? Well, luckily we don't have to figure that out because someone else has already done it for us. There's a man named Benjamin Bloom, and he was a psychologist, and Benjamin Bloom created something called Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy is a classification of questions. And as you climb the taxonomy up this pyramid, you get into higher order thinking skills. You create critical thinking skills in your students when you use Bloom's taxonomy. So as educators, we can use this as a reference tool to remind us that we need to ask increasingly tougher questions to help our students be better critical thinkers. The first thing in Bloom's taxonomy at the very bottom is to remember this is the most basic level of questioning. This is what you usually ask your students, what parents usually ask their children. This is just recall of information. This is when you ask students for facts. The who, the what, the where, the why, and the how. You might use words like describe, name, list, relate, find, tell, right? Most students are able to do this remembering, and remembering is important, but it doesn't display critical thinking skills. So as we climb, we're going to get into higher order thinking skills. So then we get to understanding. Now understanding is when we see if students understand the information. You might ask questions with words like explain, compare, restate, predict. This is when students are going to explain what happened in their own words. So they're not just spitting out facts, but they're actually starting to apply, and that's the next one. And apply is when students use information to solve problems. You might use words like show me, complete this, use, classify, examine, illustrate, solve. You might ask students to predict what would happen next or to continue the story. And then we get to analyze, and this is when students draw conclusions. This is when you might use words like explain, examine, investigate, identify. You might ask questions like, why do you think that happened? What is the theme? Can you identify the parts? Then we get to evaluate, and this is where students form an opinion. You might use words like justify, prioritize, recommend, choose. This is when students are going to put themselves in the shoes of the character or whatever it is that you are learning that day. And then lastly, we have create. Now create is at the top of the pyramid because this is where students are displaying the highest thinking, critical thinking skills. And this is when students are going to make something new. You might use words like create, plan, invent, construct, imagine. This is when students are going to start to think about changes they could make, what they would do if they were in charge. So here we have it. This is Bloom's taxonomy. These are the 6 levels of higher order thinking skills. Now that's all great, but how do we actually apply this in the classroom? Here are examples of questions that you can ask your students to help you climb up this ladder of higher order thinking skills. So let's say that we are teaching a lesson on The Boy Who Cried Wolf. We just read the story as a class, and we are now going to check comprehension by asking some questions. So if you haven't read The Boy Who Cried Wolf, it's about a little boy who would lie and always say that there was a wolf chasing him. The townspeople believed him, and they would run terrified. only to find out that the little boy was lying. And then one day, the little boy was really being chased by a wolf, but no one believed him, and he died. So that's the story. And now we're going to ask these questions of our students. Now, at the remembering level, the very bottom of Bloom's taxonomy, you might ask a question like, who is the main character? Remember, this is where we're asking about facts. So you're going to ask, who is the main character? That's an easy one. The students might tell you that it's the little boy who cried wolf. Now we know they remember. Then we get to the understanding level. And this is where you're going to see if students can explain in their own words what happened in the story. You might ask a question like, what is the main idea of the story? So your students will start thinking, maybe in The Boy Who Cried Wolf, a student would say that the main idea of the story is that when you lie, you can get hurt, or maybe even be in danger. Now once the student is remembering and understanding, you'll want to ask an applying question. It could be something like this. What questions would you ask in an interview with the main character? Now the student's going to have to apply what they heard in the story to what they would actually do in real life. So if a student was sitting down with the boy who cried wolf, maybe they would ask questions like, why did you lie? How did it make you feel when you lied? How did you feel when the wolf was really chasing you? Now once the student has remembered and understood and applied, then you'll want to ask an analyzing question. And it could be something like this. How is the story related to your life? Now the students are going to have to think about what they remember, the facts, what they understood about the story, and what that might have to do with them. If the student had said in the understanding phase that when you lie, you could be put in danger, they might tell about a time when they lied and they got in trouble. And they were in danger because they missed out on something really awesome. Now once a student has remembered and understood and applied and analyzed, then as an educator, it's your responsibility to make sure that they know how to evaluate. You can ask a question like, what choice would you have made if you were in the story? So now the student is going to put themselves in the little boy who cried wolf's place. Would they have lied? Or maybe they'll put themselves in the place of one of the townspeople, the people who didn't believe the boy who cried wolf at the end. Would they have believed the boy who cried wolf? And once a student has remembered, understood, applied, analyzed, and evaluated, then they get to the very top of the pyramid where they are able to create. And a question like this might be something that you could ask. How would you adapt the plot to create a different story? So now the student's going to be thinking, okay, what is the plot? He remembers that from remember. What was the main idea? Well, I learned that if you lied, if you hurt. And then the student can start to think, maybe they'll change up the location or the time period. Maybe they will change the animal. This is when a student's going to take all of those other things that have built up to this point and use what they've already established to create something new. And so as a teacher, this is a really great way that you can scaffold and build on what your students are learning to create higher order thinking skills to help them become critical thinkers. But there's more. There's another really great way that you can use Bloom's taxonomy in your classroom, and that is with technology. Before you see a pyramid that has different icons from different technological resources. And this goes along with Bloom's taxonomy. So at the bottom, you'll see that it says remembering. And so these are tools you can use with your students when you're at the remembering phase. This is where students are recalling facts. So they can use a search engine like Google or YouTube to learn about a story or do some research. And then, once they remember, you can go to the understanding phase, and they can use things like Twitter or Skype or Bubble.us. And then when you get to applying, they can use things like PowerPoint or Picasa. And for analyzing, they could use Mindomo or SurveyMonkey. And in evaluating phase, you could use BrainPop or YouTube. And then at the creating stage, they could create something of their own, like a Wikispace or Prezi or even a blog. This is a great way for you to be able to differentiate in your classroom because you may have different students at different levels of critical thinking. So your students that are great evaluators, well, they could be using Wikipedia. and BrainPop, while your students who are
How
still
many of you
understanding
understand
things
what
can
it
be
says?
using
Try to be.
Skype and
How many of you are
resources.
interested on what
So not
it
only is
says?
Bloom Taxonomy really great for asking questions in the classroom, it's really a great way to apply technological resources as well.
I
So
don't
remember,
understand,
and
and
then just
Hmm?
Very draggy, and the way she explained it.
Very tricky. And tak tahu dia nak beritahu apa benda.
Yeah, what's the focus and what's the objective?
Taxonomy, to be simple, is to come up with the words, to direct people to have a clearer understanding and let them know what is expecting on them to learn. For example, kat sana kita ada nampak remembering, yang paling tinggi punya ada creating. Different level of the hierarchy, it have a specific purpose of the words to be used. Contohnya, setelah you sudah develop, you sudah buat you punya TNA. It's lacking of skill dekat SKA sana, kan? So dekat skill sana dia kan kurang fasih dalam bahagian remember. They have problem to understand the step. Then you should come up with the training, to educate them, to let them remember what are the steps. So if the job or the skill or the knowledge require more analyzing skill, then you should put in the clear instructions in the learning outcome. What are the words to be used so that it can direct us or leads the trainer to the right gestures or giving the right training. Contohnya, okay, Mr. Kuman punya case. What is the objective for the training on the policy documents handover?
To deliver.
So, who is the target audience?
It's a client.
The target audience is the client or your new recruits?
Oh, alright. Yeah, new recruits. Okay.
Understand first.
Yep.
Okay. So, jangan silap punch bang. So, the training is designed for the client or designed for your new recruits? So that's why you gonna buat DNA. Then you should know the DNA is buat for siapa. Takkan Mr. Niha punya DNA sudah buat sales manager dan let the HR manager pergi attend. Betul tak? So you must know who is the target audience. Okay? That's why yang tadi punya di dalam Mr. Niha punya proposal sana, ada tak you nak nampak sini? Who is the audience? Who should attend? So, who should attend the program? Contohnya, new recruits, new agency member, new insurance member to go through the training. So this training for the policy document handover procedures, it could be part of the orientations punya training. You see, so that's why I call this is a session plan, session punya learning outcome. Multiple session plan makes a module, multiple module makes a program. So each of every session you must have a clear objective. You understand or not? And you must know who is the right persons to attend. So you have already developed this policy, the document delivery punya process SOP. So combine multiple those necessary steps, necessary knowledge, necessary know-how into one and design one program for new insurance agents orientations training program. So the participants who should attend are those people who are new in this industry. Do you understand?
Yes.
So you got to put in number one, program objective, training objective, lepas tu learning outcome, number three, who should attend, number four, okay, what else?
Methodology.
Methodology. Nanti kita akan sentuh touch on the part. Lagi?
Duration.
Duration. As I always tell you, just yesterday, okay, the training, what are the things that can influence training? Salah satu factors adalah, you can propose, you can create the best training in the world. Okay? After you come up with the proposal, your client tell you, oh, excellent program, tapi tak ada budget lah.
No money.
I want 1 day punya training cukup. You come up with a 364 days punya proposal kepada dia. So remember, depends on the situation. So we have to flexible enough. So we must know what the clients want, and we must know what is the limitation and what are the resources that can provide to you before you actually give the proposal, before you give the training outline. So you should have got TNA that is many parts kan. So you got to prioritize it. So which are the things that should go first, which are the training goes the second, and which are the training come after the second part, and eventually the last part ada tanpa. So we need to know how to prioritize it. How to prioritize it? You got to have the TNA discuss with the department person in charge, or let the HR person discuss with the person in charge. Understand or not? So without these things, how are you going to discuss? You've got no evidence, no facts, no basis to discuss. Understand? Dan di sini kalau boleh I'm suggesting mana trainer punya profile.
Oh, sorry.
Ada. Saya tengok ada handsome.
No face. No photo. I took it out lah.
Legend punya face.
That's the one. Tuan Ramakrishna.
Gambar mana?
Apa tak ada?
Okay. Trainer profile is a must. Training duration is a must. Methodology is a must. Okay, venue you must suggest.
Yeah.
So different training is got to be put in different venue. You will get the greatest impact. I will give you the notes on that. Okay, then fees biasanya kita letak dekat bawah sekali lah. Okay, so sebelum you ask them to take out money from the pocket, let them see what is it in for them first. And the first thing they see money, 6,006 then no need to talk anymore lah. Yeah. Or their focus might be deviated. Go to 6,006. Okay, how should I ask for discount? Then the focus will go to that side already. So normally we hit the money part towards the end. Training needs to be advised. This one thing. Kalau boleh ada sebahagian punya training program, you kena letak, you have to put in prerequisite.
Pre and post.
No, prerequisite means you must have certain qualifications, certain
okay.
experience. Then you are encouraged to get into this program.
Okay, like yours.
So like every kind of
Sorry.
this entry requirement for you to enter the training.
You're ready.
Well,
Yeah, you not agent when you join your policy and
Okay.
you can also include old agents. See, I just want to discuss something.
Yes, please.
Like his situation,
Hi.
what the SOP for policy handling, right? Policy handling. Focus is new agents because you want to teach them how to actually do it. But you can also get your older agents to join, right? As a refresher for them.
Of course, you see.
You can put it new and then.
What is the key purpose for this training? So you can put it, who should attend? Okay, anyone who are interested to sharpen their policy or to sharpen their what we call insurance service skill. Then you don't need you don't conclude or limit into that category. Normally, this is very basic one. If you want to include for the so-called experience or the whole agent one, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. It depends on how you set the training. If you prepare to include the older experience punya insurance agent, then prepare to have more Q&A sessions. They will challenge you, So you must budget enough time, you must allocate enough time for question handling. So when you do a new orientation, so that will be more towards giving knowledge on that. If you blend new and experienced people into one, so you must have the ability to handle the entire venue, the entire crowd, because otherwise it will happen one side very quiet and one side asking questions. And so senior people continuously asking questions, and the new people dulu sana dengar, oh, insurance that hard one, that challenge one, maybe before the end of the training mereka sudah cabut. Then you took 2 months to recruit one person in. It takes half a day to chase them away. Okay, so if you want to blend them together, it's your choice. It's totally acceptable, totally fine. It depends on how you handle it.
So my case actually is how to submit claim. I can still able to improve existing as this is additional value for them, additional information for them.
Sure. You see, that is under two circumstances. Okay, you might need to conduct this training. A, for new recruits. B, when there is changes of SOP guideline from your HQ, then you might need to conduct training. Then the training will include old and new people. And again, my little penny suggestion, jangan campur sekali.
Fix one.
You try not to mix them all together. You see, new recruits, let them follow, work with them, then they will start with the correct way. All agents, all insurance participants, they understand this industry too well, and they know how to twist and turn that. So before the new agent turn into devil, let them be an angel first. You understand what I mean? Let them follow the procedures, let them do the right thing. Nanti 2 years later, 3 years later, you don't need to teach them those tricks they know, but at least let them know the correct procedure. So that is my little suggestions. Okay, now what I want you all to do is I am going to share I am going to share out one thing. I'm going to share out this document with you all. Okay, so these are the things that suggested to be in the training outline or part of the training proposal. Number one is the course title and the introduction. So you can see from Mr. Neha here. Ada ke tidak? Course title. Okay, then followed by learning outcome, learning objective. So you must work with the SMART principle, then course content, then instructional methods and activities. What are the things that should be inside? Then I'm not sure, I didn't check on your proposal there whether that is evaluation techniques or whatsoever things or not. Okay, I will give this to you towards the end. I want you to come up with a training outline which you think it is appropriate first. Okay, I want you to try to think. Okay, in your mind, in your understanding. Okay, if a training outline with these things, this is good enough, then I only come up with the suggested version, then we do comparison.
Okay.
You see, I don't want you to be a copycat. You are coming here to develop the skill. You are not coming here to enhance your copying skill. Okay, you know what I mean? Okay, you not copy, you go to Google. You can download, copy banyak templates. What I want you to do now is at least be honest one time. At least lah. Okay, at least be honest one time. Okay, you nak tiru pun tak apa. Because the more freedom I give you, the more you go and check other people what, you get more confused. Kenapa dia ada ini, kenapa dia tak ada ini? Okay, at least you try to be honest one time. You use your thinking. Okay, you assume, you put yourself into the client's shoes. What would you expect to see if someone sent you a training outline or training proposal? Okay, I don't need to have that in detail. I want to see the key structure is there. Contohnya, that is program title or not. Okay, that is proposed date or not. That is numbers of participants or not. List down the thing for me. Do you understand what I mean?
So you have to find the course outline. from different.
You can decide. You can decide. I want to see the format first.
Okay.
Format first. Know what are the key things inside. So you help me to prepare one link to them, send them program outline assignment. So remember, I don't need you to insert everything complete. I want to see the structure. Contohnya, got to include A, got to include B, C, and D. For example, you must have the course title, trainer profile must be there, your suggested date must be there, learning outcome must be there, training outcome must be there, what methodologies you are using, what are the suggested venues, okay? Then how many modules? So put all these things in. I want to know. If you are sending a proposal, you are creating a training outline for your client. What are the things that you want to put in? Put yourself into both sides' shoes. So you think you want to send this to your client, maybe it's what you want to send. Now I want you to do a role shift. Put yourself as the client. What do you expect from the service provider or training provider? What are the informations you see from both sides? Then you will be easier, clearer to find out what are the things that you always missing and overlook. Sometimes we as a training provider, we are anxious to share what we want to share. Remember yesterday, the coffee and the sugars example? I want to give you my best. The trainer want to give the client the best. But this might not be what the clients want. Remember, clients only look at one thing. What is the ROI? What is it in for me? How can it help me? And I want to know everything. You tell them about the methodologies. Okay, then they can relate. Then you're going to explain to them why use these things. How can it help them? Everything that you put in, turn it into a bullet. Turn it into a weapon that help you to close this deal. Help you to let the client understand what you are doing. So it's not just for the fun of putting things in. You can put 10, 20, 30 pages. You put 20, 30 pages, looks very professional kan? Ni kali mesti boleh lah, ini kali lah. Okay. You give a 50 pages punya proposal, 50 pages punya training outline kepada your client. You think your client will read? Just show you a 9 minutes punya video. Okay. Belum play habis, kan? Sudah baca, sudah tengok handphone. Do you think the information that complete? Do you think the video that whatever he said here, it is practical, it is using? Yes. Let me tell you, yes. But does it interest you? Does it catch your attention? Sometimes what we say and how we say it out, you must let them build a good friendship, close friendship, build good rapport. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, have you sent the link?
Yeah.
Okay. Each one one copy, isn't it?
Sure, one copy. I just read the assignment and then after the
Okay. Then you all can use Word to list down the key thing for me. Then we discuss one by one. Okay. My suggestion to you: see things from two aspects. Okay. Number one, you as the training provider, you want to the so-called the key content, the key structures that you want to propose, you want to show to the client. Okay. After you prepare that, okay, we shift role. If I am the client, is there anything else I want to see from them? We must see things from both angles. He said, you, no matter how good you are, how talented you are, if you do not know how to close sales, wasting of time. Correct or not? Okay, I'll give you 20 minutes for this assignment. You want? I'll give that. Okay, it's 1:10 now. Come back at 2:30 with the complete assignment.
Yes.
Can we have that?
Yeah.
And Mr. Gopin and Mr. Kumar, you got 2 assignments to hand over. And Mr. Diha, only 1. Okay, 2:30. Okay lah, I tolong sikit lah. Okay, I tolong sikit. For this training outline, boleh combine assignment lah. Okay, boleh combine assignment, tak perlu buat individual lah. That's the most I can help.
Jadi saya buat,
That's the most I can help.
saya buat saya.
Solo.
So they say they practice good delegation.
Ya, correct.
I don't know. I expect you are the discussion.
Okay.
Okay.
No, listen.
So this is something important. You see, you might think that these things leceh lah lebih punya. You see, this is your bread and butter if you want to be in this industry. Okay, and I do not want to give you a format. I don't want you to be a copycat. Seriously, I want to develop. If you want to copy, you just go to the internet and copy. You don't need to pay so much come here. Please remember. Okay, it's 1:15 now. So 2:30 or 2:45 again. Wow.
Bila PPT belum bisa nanti first exam tak dapat buat susah lah.
Oh, okay. You want 2:30 or 2:45?
Right.
Nanti come back, nanti go back 6:30, 6:45.
I will do the first.
So I loan you time 2:45. Can we go back a little bit late 6:45, 6:30, 6:45?
Yeah, can.
Boleh tak?
Can bisa juga.
Can Okay, please enjoy your lunch. Diminta menjalankan satu aktiviti namanya Squid Game. TTT Squid Game. Ya, Squid Game hanya ada satu peluang aja. Jangan guna scissors ini untuk bunuh orang. Yeah. Okay, listen. I'm giving you one assignment. I'm giving you one objective to achieve. Okay, assuming one of you will be the what we call trainee. Okay, and one of you will be the intern trainer. And one of you will be the master trainer. Okay, and the master trainer will train the intern trainer to carry out an activities to train the trainee to achieve something. So, do you understand of the scenario?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, before I appoint who be the trainer, who be the intern trainer, who be the master trainer, and who be the intern, let you have a clear idea what are you going to achieve. So 3 of you are given 2 pieces of A4 paper and a pair of scissors. Okay, listen carefully. Okay, I want you to use one piece of this A4 paper to cut a big rectangle or a big square or a big circle which can allow you to walk through the paper. So you cannot use other things to sambung or glue or connect two paper into one. Do you understand what you need to achieve?
What walkthrough means is like
Make a big circle. The whole paper can allow you to walk through. That means it cover you.
in one piece.
Yes. Okay. Rule number 1. You are not allowed to look for your big brother. Do you know who is your big brother?
Google.
Google. You are not allowed to look for the big brother's little brother.
ChatGPT.
YouTube.
YouTube.
No assistance from the net. I want you to think. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So I repeat my instructions. What you need to achieve is by using a pair of scissors and a paper, cut and make a big circle or a big square or a big rectangle. Cannot putus. Cannot putus. So, and allow you to walk through or cover you, the entire person.
So we cannot combine.
Cannot combine.
One person must go walk through.
Yes.
We-
And Mr. Niha, okay, since you're so confident, I like you so much, okay, I will increase the difficulty level to slightly higher. Is that okay for you?
Okay, try it.
So mereka walk through one person. I want you to walk through two person. Is that okay? So do you understand the instruction well? Do you know what you need to achieve well?
Walk to 2% at the same time or
At the same time. Kalau one by one, that means ini main tipu lah ni,
can be
kan?
verified?
So paper cut also cannot putus.
Cannot putus. Okay? You can actually make it back into the original size paper. Do you understand
Make
what?
it to original size.
Yeah, if it is required.
The cutting can be come back to normal.
Yes. That means you cannot say you cut a long strap there at the end there you sambung. Cannot. It must be in one piece. Do you understand the instruction?
Yeah.
Huh? Is that hard?
Actually, so go through means this the person is the whatever the whole go through totally.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Dengar dulu, ya. Squid Game bagi satu kali peluang saja. Saya bagi you 2 peluang. Okay, if you need additional chance, boleh tak? Boleh. Tapi you kena beli. Oh, I cakap betul-betul punya beli. Oh, I sudah receive you punya wang, I tak refund punya. Saya akan guna wang itu beli pizza kita sama-sama makan.
Boleh.
So, do you understand what you need to achieve? Too easy for you? Too hard for you?
Thinking.
Calculating.
Start the day.
Not yet. Okay. Any questions?
Demo.
Good questions. Okay? I will show you. I will demo it to you after you have tried that. Okay. And I will prove to you how can a person learn that within 5 minutes to master the skill. Possible. Thinking. I like that. You can be a good politician. No question? No question? Yes question? Any questions? Mr. Kumar? Okay. How much time do you need to think? Do you want me to give you some help?
Yeah.
I allow you to discuss.
The next one.
That means, okay, the what if start to come in already.
What if? I did before, but I can't recall.
Only towel one will be lah.
No, not the paper.
So now,
The person must go through the hole.
Go through. For you, 2 person.
2 person go through the hole.
Yes.
Play of words, I don't really.
So I'm not playing with words.
Okay.
Okay.
this is like literally going inside. Isn't it?
Yes. Physically. Physically. Aha.
Because you can cut, so you can go through. But there is a way how to cut the thing.
So that is a very simple, challenging game. This game is designed for age below 8 years old punya children to solve this puzzle.
That's why I play with bully.
Okay.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Nowadays children very challenging question.
Oh, and furthermore, just for your info, for these activities or this exercise, okay, sudah ada beratus tahun punya history. Okay, so it's nothing related to nowadays punya children or those days punya children. Tetapi I can tell you, it is a mathematics, and it is physics.
Why one year, 1 year?
Individually cannot share.
Again,
What is this spider? Spider.
Yeah, that's why the whole thing will come out with this whole.
Yes, I think spider or I think spider or.
That's correct.
So,
But I think we can pick up.
yeah.
Record no.
But take out the.
How you go inside?
Who the heck is going to take that?
Jadi maksud.
No.
So you want to show us the video?
okay. Any more questions?
Got any tips for us to start?
Use your scissors and use a piece of paper.
Very good tip.
That's the idea.
Okay, you all can sit like this to think individually, or you all can sit at the back and you all can discuss. Okay, you all can stand, you all can sit on the floor, you all can lie down on the floor, as long as you all do that. How much time do you all need?
So I can use both at the same time.
Tak boleh sambung kan?
But I can use both at the same time, right?
Up to you. Up to you. Okay. Do you need? I give you 3 choices. 15 minit, 20 minit, 30 minit.
30 minit.
The more time you use, the later you go home. How much time do you need? 30. Okay, please.
Okay, tadi bersama orang orang sini.
Ada betul, our place we can just go in.
Very awesome, sana. Right through.
Just one cover only. Just cover it.
Yeah, why not? The paper can form back.
Yeah, but you cannot
Two choice.
You are there, can
form back now. You படிக்கலாம்.
Cannot look at.
You're not a road. Two person to go together. How?
If you are sensitive enough, if you are careful enough, you can even cover 3%. One paper. One piece of paper.
So many percent, huh?
cannot put those, this level has to be there. Pernah முடியும்.
Pusing, letak balik.
Can you add to go?
Sebenarnya putus Pak.
Cannot lah betul. Cannot.
But can form back like this.
Yes, can form back like that.
But even though it's closed, we can still form back like this. You can.
Yes.
புதுசா இருந்தாலும் திருப்பி கொண்டு வரப்ப அது எப்படி அதுலயே எல்லாமே திருப்பி வந்துருக்கும்.
அப்ப இங்கே நான் வச்சிருக்காங்க.
ஆமா சொல்லுங்க. இது அந்த மாதிரி விட்டாத. எப்படி இருக்குன்னு பாப்போம். நம்ம ஏதாவது செஞ்சுக்கலாம். நீங்க என்ன செஞ்சிருக்கீங்க? எல்லா பயன்களும் செய்யலாம்.
Thank you.
Day one is special really.
One by one, one lick first. கடைசியா வாட்டை
இதுல கத்துக்கலாம் சுத்தி வச்சிருக்கோம் அந்த ஒரு தெரியுமா
One representative. Huh? One representative. Okay, good job. அதான் bro, எப்படி பார்த்தாலும் வரும். எப்படி பார்த்தாலும் இந்த புது செல்.
அதான் எப்படி கட்டுறீங்க அதான் அது அது சீசர்ஸ் தான் சேலஞ்ச் தான் இன்னும் ஃபுல்லா வந்து பெரிய மாலை மாதிரி இருக்கும்
கரெக்டா?
புரியுதா ஃபுல் ஸ்லைஸா இருக்கு அப்படியே எப்படி இல்ல இப்போ ஆமா அது போனீங்களா இப்ப நான் அது எப்படி மாத்தியா ஃபுல்லா ஒரு இது மாதிரி எப்படி விட்டுவாங்க அது பார்க்கறது எப்படின்னா இப்படி அந்த லேயர் வந்து
சில படிப்பு
ஆனா இப்படிதான் வந்துச்சு கடைசியா மோசம் ஏன்னா இது வராது இல்லைங்களா இது தனியா பேச்சு
நான் புது சார்
எங்க புதுசு புது சார்
புது மீன் பொதுலி புது எல்லாம் அழகு நம்ம தான் ஐயா கான்டாக்ட் இருக்கு
இது கரெக்ட் தான் எப்படி வந்துச்சு இப்படி இருந்துச்சு அது
இது கவர்
இப்படி இருந்துச்சு
ஓகே
அப்படி போடலாம் எப்படி வெட்டுறது
It's outline, it's outline. Ini demo berapa?
வெட்டுறது தான் இருக்கு
How to cut? How to cut so?
வெட்டுறது தான் இருக்கு
Itu penting tidak? Jadi this method is correct, but not this method. எப்படி
நீட்டா தான் வெட்டினாங்க நான் நீட்டா தான் அது ஒரு பேப்பரு இது பெருசா இருக்கு
அவ்வளோ நம்ம
அதை எப்படி வெட்டுறது
இப்படி இல்லையாமா இப்படி இல்லையா
இப்படி போனீங்கன்னா பாருங்க இப்படிதான் அவனோட லேயர் இப்படி தான் வந்துச்சு
ஓகே
அப்ப நீங்க இங்க வெட்டி இப்போ வெட்டி இங்க கொண்டு வந்தீங்கன்னா ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க
இந்த கட்டிங் மெத்தட்லாம்
அது பண்ணுங்க
அது இப்படி போனா எல்லாம் ஃபுல்லா இப்படி தான் இருக்கும் அது நடுவில் விட்டுட்டு நான் வந்துடும் ரோட்டா சரி நீட்டா இருக்குதா அப்படியா
நீ அது எப்படி இருந்துச்சு அவங்க அப்படிதான் வெட்டிருக்காரு நீட்டா இருந்துச்சு அதை
வெட்டி முடிச்சா நாலு ரோட்டா இருக்கும் சாப்பிடும் கடைசியா நோ ஒரு மேல இப்படி இருக்கும் தப்பு வந்து இது இப்படி இருக்கும்
இந்த மாதிரி தான் இருந்துச்சு இப்படிதான் இருந்துச்சு
எல்லாம் இப்படி தான்
அதோட பாடி
Dia cepat, dia tak boleh. Ada
மடிச்சு மாதிரி தான் இருந்துச்சு இந்த இடத்துல இந்த மாதிரி தான் இருந்துச்சு.
நீங்க இப்படி
இப்படி தான்
போய்
இப்படிதான்
இருக்கும்
வேற இது வந்து நம்ம 2 வருஷம் நீங்க பாக்குறீங்களா
Something is simple, you have to reduce up. Something more or less.
Zero 4.
04, good.
இப்படி வரணும் இந்த மாதிரி வரணும் இப்படிதான் வந்துச்சு பார்த்தேன். என்ன ஒண்ணு இது வந்து
might be winning. You see that? That's right. Let's go in the back. Ini ya, saya ada. Ini dong. Ini mana?
Ini mati ya udah. Mati ya.
Berarti ini baru
Ada. Bro,
itu udah jadi. Ada betul kan?
Pasti lepas frame menjadi. Base frame lah.
Ada. Dua darah. Darah dari
Dia
dia.
orang Malaysia. Dia orang putus saja. Jadi, beserta lah seperti ini. Ada benda agak macam-macam
Dia tak sambungan. Sambungan.
macam
ஏன்னா உள்ளுக்கு இப்படி சுத்தி விட்டுனாலும் அது வந்து பொக்ஸ் ஆயிரும்.
நடுவில் இருக்குமா?
அப்படின்ட்டு. அப்படியே கொண்டு என்ன ஆகும்? உள்ளுக்கு ஒரு பொக்ஸ் ஆகும். உள்ளுக்கு ஒரு பொக்ஸ் ஆகும்.
மாலை மாதிரி இருந்துச்சு. நான் ஸ்கூல்ல வெட்டுவோங்க அப்படியே வருங்க.
புள்ளி தான் வரும்.
இது அந்த மாதிரி வராது. மாலை மாதிரி இருக்கும். புரியுதா? பெருசா இருக்கு.
சென்டர்ல தான் அப்படியே போகுது. ஏன்னா ஆனா இது பெருசா இருக்கு. இப்படி யார் வந்து
சொல்லிப்பேன்.
எனக்கு விட்டா
ini berapa lama ini sehari 15 lah.
Betul. Itu semua masuk. Ayo. Baru dapat cuma.
Baru dapat.
இல்ல அதை கட்டிங் தான் பேஸ் அது ஒரு மாதிரி கட் பண்ணிட்டேன். அதை திறந்து என்னால பார்க்க முடியல. எப்படி இருந்துச்சுன்னா இப்படிதான் இருந்துச்சு. அந்த மடிப்பு இப்படி இல்லை, இப்படி ஷேப்ல இருந்துச்சு. அது எப்படின்னா அது அப்படி வரும் எப்படி இல்லையா ஷேப் எடுத்துட்டா trying right.
Imagine if there's a bomb there, red and blue wire, you should not
Kau bom dia orang betul, anda betul.
It's like how we flip on the edge.
Our mind is so tuned to things being complicated, easiest thing we cannot see. It's going to be an easy method only, definitely. But we cannot see it because we are so in
The start.
The start is the starting. You start correctly or not?
இல்ல வராது புத்து சரிச்சா பாத்தியா இங்க ஒண்ணு வெட்டு இங்க ஒரு வெட்டு then you open இது போடுறா ஸ்ட்ரீம் வெளிய 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 நான் ஆஃப்டர் கன்சல்ட் யோசிச்சு
அதான் கேட்கணும் ஸ்ட்ரீம் பண்ணணும்
இது பண்ணாலும் இந்த வெளிய போகணும் வெளிய வெளிய சமஸ்தை இங்க வரணும் இது வந்து வீடியோ நல்ல வெளிய போறது
வந்து மாட்டோம்
அந்த பாக்ஸ் வெளிய வரணும்
நம்ம செய்யறதே சாவும் இதுதான் இந்த கட்டிங் தான்
Same.
இது எப்படி பண்ணி பேப்பர் மடிச்சுல இதான் பண்ணிடுவேன் கரெக்டா இது கரெக்ட் தான் இதுல இருக்கேன்
Kayak waktu lah. Kayak waktu lah ini.
சிலங்க
எல்லா இடத்துலயும்
இந்த வரணும் அப்படி வெளியே வரணும்
எல்லா பேப்பருமே பிரிண்ட்.
இல்ல அவங்க நீங்க விட்டுட்டா இந்த பிரேம் அப்படியே இருக்கும். எப்படி வருதுன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. பிடிச்சிட்டியா?
இந்த கட்டிங் தான்
அப்ப இங்கே
This will help you. This will help you.
கொஞ்சம் ரிலாக்ஸ்.
We sleep for about 7 minutes.
Very good.
Last song. Last song. Last 5 minutes.
kind of piece.
If you don't use up, the boom will still burst one out.
Yeah, that's right.
So you
Better use it.
use up, die faster. If you don't use up, you can live for another 30 minutes. Take.
எப்படி வருதுன்னா இந்த வகையில அந்த பாக்ஸ்ல எப்படி வெளியாகும் அதான் கேள்வி. இந்த பாக்ஸ்ல எப்படி வெளியாகும் எப்படி ரவுண்டா வருது ஏதோ ஒரு இடத்துல ஜாயின் இல்ல முடியாது உள்ள இருந்தா ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணி
சரி
ரவுண்ட் ரவுண்டா வைக்கலான்னு அது ட்ரை பண்ணி பாருங்க நம்ம இதுலயே வெளியே வந்துட்டா இந்த ஆப்ஷன் வெளியே இது வெளியே வந்து நல்லா ஓப்பன் பண்ணோம்னா இது வெளியே வரும் எதுக்கு வைக்க போறீங்க
இங்கே இருக்குமா இங்கே எங்கேயும் போகிறீங்க
வர
வராது ரவுண்டு தனியா வந்துடும் ஆக்சுவலி அந்த வெட்டு எப்படி தெரியுமா இங்கிட்ட வெட்டணும் இங்கிட்ட வெட்டணும் ஸோ அது வந்து இப்படிதான்
மடிச்ச மெத்தட் கேட்டான் இப்படி போனோம் அப்புறம் அங்கே
இந்த மூச்சுலேயே வெளியா முடியுது
satu. Oh, ini
Time's up. Bimbao. Lancho.
புது சாப்பிடல
புதுசா
இல்ல, புதுசா சாப்பிடு.
கரெக்ட் இதேதான்
Finally, I think we got him.
after the bomb blast
Huh?
after the bomb blast
The bomb blast, still managed to do it. Okay, let's see.
ஆமா இதுதான்
இதேதான்
இப்படிதான் வந்துச்சு இந்த ரேட்டு தான் நாலாம் முடிச்சு தான் வெட்டினேன் அப்புறம்
நீ நாலு மணி ஓட்ட போட்ட?
இல்ல நான் கூட படிச்சேன்
correct bro இதுதான்
Let's see, I'm also not sure yet. In open fully yet, right?
அதான் ஓகே தான் குறைக்க
Yeah, set, not aligned properly, yeah.
இதுதான் one chief
I don't know lah.
correct
Mas kau sama lah. Kau here on corner no? Bit more lah. Huh?
கொஞ்சம் லைட்டா திறந்து பாருங்க
okay
Ya, betul. Hah? Betul lah.
okay bro okay
Then the moment of truth. Then
slowly
No lah. No, cannot open.
பட் இது இந்த மாதிரி தான்
Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. Yeah, let's put that.
Tolonglah.
This corner.
It's putus or it's not combined? Almost there actually.
but is it இதுதான் வந்து
No, but then here.
okay
We face
Maybe something. Maybe
nuclear bomb exploded.
maybe another phone. I'm not sure.
Another four. Okay, please be seated.
Okay.
Welcome to heaven. So we all go to heaven together. Is it hard?
Very hard. Challenging.
Challenging? You have fun?
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. You feel very torturing?
No.
Okay. Now, do you want to know, do you want to learn this trick, how to solve this challenge?
Of course.
I'm going to teach this secret to only one person.
Okay. What do you mean the master trainer?
And I will make him to be the master trainer. Yeah. So, who wants to learn that skill?
Clear is right.
Okay. You pandang dia pandang you, atau mau pilih you orang? I pilih dia.
Bagus.
And two gentlemen, one of you will be selected by him to be the intern trainer. Okay. Then the intern trainer is going to give instruction to the trainee how to make these things.
Okay, so good.
So, do you know what is going to happen next?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm going to give you one more piece of paper, okay?
Before that, can we go for
Of course you can. Of course you can.
question?
Yes, please go. Please go.
Pick one.
There is water here. If you want, please let me know.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah, I need a jelly.
Oh, okay. I will come back later.
哦，转到，对，可以。啊，小心笔的小。
好，这样。
是想做，
这里看到了，等下走进去了。
我懂他们。很多点吧，这个人看到吧。
然后到一下，找到以后检查一下，是不是手续那里？必须那里。
他们有声音讲说吗？最后点呢？
目前